Broadcasting. Tonight we bring you a secret report history and update on the slow alien takeover of your planet, how it started, and a great information documentary for those new to the alien Earth problem. The information contained is from years of secret research. It's a very long and heavy production, so let's get straight to it. Sit back and enjoy. This report is the latest report supplied for information on your planet Earth, on the New World Order and alien agenda for your planet. It's highly secret and as accurate as we know at this date. First we start with some history and then bring you up to speed on the problem. Our findings are that a rogue bunch of aliens we know as Giza intelligence have been present on your Earth for thousands of years. The Magyars, the Hopi and many other religions knew these as the sun gods, bringing technologies which would appear godlike to them, and indeed use the god angle to control the masses, with flying craft and spaceships at a time when only basic humanoid tools and equipment existed. This was very easy to pull off. These aliens still live underground and have a whole existence inside the Earth. This group of aliens are not to be confused with the known gray aliens, as they are the more recent arrival to the Earth. The Greys made contact with a world governmental body for the first time in 1933 in Germany. However, they were turned away by the German government because it had already committed itself to involvement with the Giza renegade group. During the 1930s, the Germans were building rockets and starting a space program due to their contacts with the extraterrestrials of the Giza intelligence. The technology developed, however, was used to create weapons because the German governmental body involved were concerned that there was going to be an alien invasion. Why? Because the Giza intelligence told them this, but this actually did not occur. Plans for weapons such as sound devices, lasers, neutron bombs, particle beam weapons, etc. were designed. Although many of these weapons were not created until much later in history, a lot of other technology was shared with the Germans by the Giza intelligence, like how to do anti-gravity, free energy, DNA sampling, etc. The United States was the first to open its doors to the alien race known as the Greys, although we heard possibly China had also been approached. Although this we cannot confirm as of this date. The very first contact was in 1934, where the Greys made their presence known to the U.S. government, in the state of Washington. We don't know the particular details, but somehow the government knew that the Greys were there. It wasn't until 1947 that actual contact occurred with the aliens and United States officials. The first face-to-face contact was due to the shooting down of an alien craft, namely the Roswell incident. This pressed the Greys into a contact earlier than they had actually anticipated doing themselves. After the crash in Roswell, the United States, the Soviet Union, and the British, at the very highest levels, became blood brothers. By the way, none of these governments knew what Germany was really up to. The Germans were very secretive about their contact with the Giza intelligence, and was working and extracted some very new technologies from them. Indeed, the war years gave the Gizan unlimited amounts of humans for their consumption in experiments, and adrenaline extraction. Adrenaline fluid is like nectar to the Gizas and Greys. The younger the human, the sweeter the taste. Our data on the German Giza link is patchy since then, but we have unconfirmed data that they are still active underground in the Antarctic region. But that's another report and does not concern this gray alien race. Your known Roswell incident created more of an urgency to develop a true space program to defend the Earth. The United States and the Soviet governments thought that this alien presence could be a threat, because these aliens were so technologically more advanced. But the Greys in their own fashion, really backdoored these governments through deceit. The true space program, this underground program that you are only recently beginning to hear about, but has been ongoing for years both on Earth and the Moon, was originally financed by members of the Club of Rome, and a secret black budget fund has been used for the aliens' takeover since, in effect allowing the humans to work and pay for their own demise into slavery. In 1952, the U.S. government prepared itself for the realization of ongoing alien contact when your military radar systems started to down their craft. The Greys knew that in order to perform their experiments on such a large scale, to save their race, they would need the cooperation of a high political body. In other words, they had to come to a mutual agreement with one superpower, in order to have an easy way to take control of the planet, without just going to war, and a more tactical method was adopted. Unknown to your leaders at the time, although known throughout the galaxy, these Greys do not honor agreements, but the promises of all the power wealth to these individuals was enough to in effect buy the Earth. And if you research will find always powerful rich corporations behind the front face, that is shown to the public. A select politically structured body, created secretly within the United States government, was designed to be the liaison between the Greys, the technological gods, and the Earth humans. The military was very enthusiastic for communication with the aliens, in hopes of exchanging technology for raw materials. This liaison group, This political structure is and was the NSA, the then-named National Security Agency. For contact and study of the aliens was its original purpose. In May of 1954, at the Holloman Air Force Base, the United States government made a formal agreement with the gray alien race. Some of the terms of this agreement were the exchange of technology, of anti-gravity, metals, alloys, and environmental technologies to assist the Earth with free energy and medical application regarding the human body. All the Greys asked for in return was to be allowed to study the human development, taking some humans as required for experiments, and to reside here on Earth underground and out of view, so as not to panic the populations. This single act of signing a contract with an extraterrestrial race was the most significant act in human history, because it launched you in a direction you were never intended to go in the first place, and it thrust your race into a position that nobody could be prepared for either. Being hosts to an alien race, who are far more advanced, essentially, what this contract has also done, has handcuffed the galactic councils and those benevolent extraterrestrial races, from being able to take a more active role in the Earth's evolution. Other friendly alien races are forbidden to step in and help prevent your Earth takeover. It is against galactic law to interfere at this stage. We are allowed to observe and monitor but unable to step in as the UN Council literally signed the allegiance to them. Unfortunately, the Greys on your Earth are not to be trusted, and they are now using this opportunity to try to satisfy their own agenda, which is to create DNA and genetic stock that is clean enough to foster new physical life forms that are capable of regeneration and birth for their race. As of right now, the Greys are most interested in female genetic stock because all family lineages follow the female rather than the male. Why? Because you always know who your mother is, you may not always know who your father is. We understand they have infiltrated every government in the West and most of the East and now call the shots from behind the facade of the officials you assume make the decisions, and pushing hard for what you refer to as the New World Order, but we decode and know it as alien slave planet building. The Greys' master's assigned agenda is to create a slave race which is currently in full swing, for the purposes of control, physical services, labor and sexual fun and food source. Now we will explain this. The acts of feeding, war, anger, psychic energy, genetic experiments, hybrids as a food source, genetic and biological materials, and to extract Earth's magnetics, with human population control at every level. Many new races have been created this way throughout our galaxy. It's not something that's new going on your Earth. This has been going on for a very long time. Few races today have actually remained as pure genetic stock, with the exception of two races that are really genetically clean. That is the reptilians from Alpha Draconis, and the other is what we call, or know as the Elohim, which are a very ancient race of humans that survived Lyra. All other races are a varied degree of hybrid or mixture of races of different genetic stock. The Greys and their masters feed off this, our energy. As examples, if two people are fighting, they create a lot of emotional negative energy. And this is why you will find that whenever there are wars going on, there's a lot of UFO activity. Negative energy. They just feed off it. It's likened to when you're making love, and you reach that moment where you are both at the same place at the same time, in a loving benevolent way. That's how it feels for them regarding negative energy release. The energy of fear, this is what they crave, all of the negative emotional aspects, and enjoy your human wars and conflicts and like to invoke them. Rumor has it that the Islam-Muslim versus Christian movement is all deliberate to invoke hate and wars, giving them enjoyment. The Greys are currently monitoring the brain waves of those they have implanted. They have done this for the better part of 100 years on Earth. So generations of family members have had implants. The cloning of human beings, of life forms and the art of subversion was taught by the Greys to the NSA. On the two highest levels of human interaction with the Greys within the NSA, there exists cloned human beings and humans so heavily implanted that they do not consider them human beings anymore. They have joined the group mind of the Greys. They have lost free will. They are clone robots. Their soul is trapped and they are no longer considered compassionate human beings, and these are in positions of superpower in the UN on your Earth. The Greys clone their own race into a caste of slaves, just like ants. They all basically think the same things at the same time. Their minds are like radio receivers. If there are no radio waves, they don't do anything. They get them dependent on the masters to function, in any degree of thoughts. They work and eat and sleep until they are no longer any use, and discarded. In finishing the summary, a recent number scan was done on the Greys problem and its estimated inhabitant numbers. There are well over 18,000 Greys, 15,000 on the Earth and 3,000 on the Moon. Your non-informed lower-level regular government, which makes up the majority of the world, doesn't have a clue as to what's really going on. The black government consists of various levels. At the top, they know everything, and are no longer in charge of their own true thought processing. The research also confirms that you are being used for food. Their favorite food is children because they lack nicotine, caffeine, and other environmental pollutants. Like you eat steaks, they love to eat humans. Also of note is although the Galactic Federation is not permitted to intervene on Earth, there is a space quarantine line. This defense line is between Uranus and Pluto and consists of a mixture of benevolent races. This line of defense is really like a last resort. Many gray motherships have already been turned back that were on their way to Earth, Moon and Mars, but we can do no more than that. Signs to look for in determining alien-human mix and/or implanted beings amongst your leaders are a total lack of sound decision-making, poor memories, scars on rear of the scalps, and occasional eye problems, excess blinking through dryness, bisexual activities, and an ability to lie without a hint of remorse. These are the Gray's traits showing. Good luck. We wish we could help more. Galactic Federation Earth Report dated December 2013. We hope this report helps you humans understand the problems. This was an NWO and .com presentation for Alien TV Broadcasting. Good evening, my name is Ricky Nicky. Welcome to Alien TV Broadcasting. Tonight we bring you a secret report, history and update on the slow alien takeover of your planet, how it started, and a great information documentary for those new to the alien Earth problem. The information contained is from years of secret research. It's a very long and heavy production, so let's get straight to it. Sit back and enjoy. This report is the latest report supplied for information on your planet Earth, on the New World Order and alien agenda for your planet. It's highly secret and as accurate as we know at this date. First we start with some history and then bring you up to speed on the problem. Our findings are that a rogue bunch of aliens we know as Giza intelligence have been present on your Earth for thousands of years. The Magyars, the Hopi, and many other religions knew these as the sun gods, bringing technologies which would appear godlike to them, and indeed use the god angle to control the masses, with flying craft and spaceships at a time when only basic humanoid tools and equipment existed. This was very easy to pull off. These aliens still live underground and have a whole existence inside the Earth. This group of aliens are not to be confused with the known Gray aliens, as they are the more recent arrival to the Earth. The Greys made contact with a world governmental body for the first time in 1933 in Germany. However, they were turned away by the German government because it had already committed itself to involvement with the Giza renegade group. During the 1930s, the Germans were building rockets and starting a space program due to their contacts with the extraterrestrials of the Giza intelligence. The technology developed, however, was used to create weapons because the German governmental body involved were concerned that there was going to be an alien invasion. Why? Because the Giza intelligence told them